Is your magic meter running low? Well, we've got a cure for you. Welcome to Disney Coast to Coast.
Hey folks, and welcome to Disney Coast to Coast. I'm Jeff DePaoli.
And I'm Patrick Dougal.
And as all of you know, when we go to visit a Disney resort, we have so much fun in the theme parks. But what a lot of people don't know, or at least don't take advantage of, is all of this stuff outside of the theme parks that there is to do. Most specifically at Walt Disney World in Florida. But there is just so much. Some of it is additional cost, some of it is free. But with all of these things that we're going to be talking about today, this is stuff that you do not need park admission for. So if you have like that one day in your trip where you don't want to pay, to go into a theme park again, but you want to do something fun, that's what we're talking about today. So, Patrick, do you want to start us off with some stuff that you have in your list?
Yeah, there's a ton of things, obviously, to do around Walt Disney World because there's so much more space.
You said Walt. Just wanted to point that out. I'm rubbing off on you. Yay!
Oh, I can't.
No,
okay.
You will. You have.
Anyway, like I said, there's so many other things to do, obviously, than just the parks. One of them specifically is just even hotel activities. I know over at Disneyland, you guys are more strict on your hotel policy. Is that correct?
We are. I was actually surprised. I was talking to you about some of the stuff that you get to do at your hotels. Like, I think you went pool hopping recently.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, you went pool hopping at the Walt Disney World Resort hotels. And to me, I was like, well, you're not staying there. And, I mean, you're not supposed to, but because of the fact that Walt Disney World is very much its own world, and they kind of assume if you're within those gates, you're staying there, not just going to a park, they don't necessarily check your room keys as strictly as they do here at Disneyland. I know to get to our hotel pools, you need room key access and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's kind of cool that at Walt Disney World you can just have fun and nobody's checking on you. So, yeah, talk about some of that.
Yeah, okay, so there's obviously there's a bunch of activities that the hotels put on, and you're technically supposed to be a guest there, but normally they don't really check. And a lot of these things include usually mostly like the outdoor-ish hotels. They do movies every night on a screen that you can go to. I know Polynesian does them, Grand Floridian does them, Wilderness Lodge does them, all the boardwalk hotels do them. And with these movies, they also do free, like, campfires with marshmallows that you can go do, which is pretty awesome. Especially the one in Fort Wilderness, I believe, has Chip and Dale come out and roast marshmallows with you.
Oh, and then you can roast chipmunks on an open fire.
Yeah.
What? Chipmunks roasting on an open fire.
Of course, they have, like, s'mores kits you could buy if you want, but, yeah, it's a really fun thing to do. Even I know after parks or whatever. It's something if you're staying at the hotel or if you just happen to sneak in, you can go do that.
Now the Disneyland Hotel does do that as well. I don't know about the campfire thing, but they do show movies outdoors. But I do know from experience that they really do check your room key to see, because the fact is that if you've never been to the Disneyland Resort, our hotels are right next to downtown Disney. So basically anybody at downtown Disney could go and crash these things. So to prevent that, they do check the room keys here. But it is free if you're staying at a resort.
One of the easiest ones is not even technically in the resort, is in the Boardwalk Hotel. Boardwalk, right outside of Epcot, it's almost like a second downtown Disney. There's a bunch of little shops around a lake, but they literally just have the movie playing like right on Boardwalk.
Speaking of Boardwalk, do you know about the free tour that they give at the Boardwalk?
I do not.
Elaborate. There's a tour called the Boardwalk Ballyhoo Guided Tour, and it's about 45 minutes long. And it's free. You can check it out on the Walt Disney World site. And it's basically kind of like the history of the architecture and where they got the design from for the Boardwalk Resort, which I personally find that interesting. I've never done it, but I was checking out the website, some of the tour things that they have going on. I was like, oh, cool, a free tour. So if you're at Walt Disney World and you like architecture and history of design and such, check out the Boardwalk Ballyhoo Guided Tour. You should do that, Patrick.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you about one of my favorite free hotel activities. This one, I can tell you the Animal Kingdom Lodge is a lot harder to get into if you're not actually staying there. However, like anything in Disney, you can just take a bus from a park into Animal Kingdom Lodge. And normally around either 12 or 1 o'clock, they do free cookie decorating.
Hello.
Free cookies at Disney. They do not check your room key or magic band, etc. You just walk into the main kitchen area. I believe it's in Jumbo House. And you get to decorate some free cookies.
This is just at Animal Kingdom Lodge?
It's just at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Okay, cool. You do realize after Disney hears this podcast, they're going to start checking room keys just to board the buses, right? We're
no
giving
one
away.
needs to know these things.
We're giving away all the secrets.
The secrets are gone.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What kind of cookies? Animals, I assume. Yes.
Well, you decorate it.
Oh, it's just like a plain circle cookie, and then you.
Yeah, I think they have sprinkles and icing, and you can draw giraffes on them.
Heck yeah. I love how when you said giraffes, you flapped your wings as if you were a bird.
Giraffes can fly.
Oh, okay.
You learn that in Animal Kingdom.
At the Animal Kingdom? Okay. Nice.
Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about some more free things. Obviously, downtown Disney, it's free to just walk around. They usually have some live entertainment going on.
And I believe at least our downtown Disney here actually has free parking for 3 hours, and I think even longer once you're validated, which is great because some of the competition doesn't exactly give you free parking. But
and our downtown Disney has free parking 24/7.
That's awesome. That's fantastic because I can't stand it when I have to pay to go spend money at a shopping area. It drives me crazy. So free parking is awesome.
Usually they have, especially around at nighttime, they usually have like a DJ at a specific place or a live band playing or just some fun atmosphere stuff that obviously there's shops you can go into, but it's something nice to just like walk around at night if you were into that. Also, some other free things if you're into like running and whatnot and athletic-y stuff. They have a bunch of running trails around a lot of the resorts in Walt Disney World. Some
you said Walt again, just so you know.
Yeah, Walt Disney World.
Woohoo!
I'm just gonna start saying Disney World now too.
No, don't. Walt Disney
So
World.
there's a bunch of running trails around Disney World property.
Stop it.
And a lot of them go by downtown Disney and either through a lot of the Wilderness Lodge and stuff. You want to get the nature feel, but it's cool if you are into that sort of thing. There's a bunch of trails for you to do.
Oh, I definitely frequent that every time I go.
Oh, I'm sure.
What is that? What was that judgment from your voice?
I don't know, just saying. I know when you come to Disney World.
Stop it! You almost said Walt. No,
that's number one on your list.
You're doing the right
running
thing.
trails.
Cool. That's very cool. Something free at Disneyland that I want to mention. It's not super exciting, but I personally love it. Is you've probably been to the Grand Californian lobby, right?
I have.
Okay, I just love piano music in general. I just find it peaceful and beautiful. They have a pianist there a lot of the time, and I don't know, I'm sure there is a set schedule. I don't know if they necessarily post it, but if you're just like tired from a long day of walking around the parks or even walking around downtown Disney and you just want something nice and relaxing, just go sit in the lobby of the Grand Californian and try to listen to some beautiful live piano music. And there's even a bar nearby so you can go get a drink and just chillax for a while. And it's free. And they don't check your room key to enter the hotel lobby, so you're safe there.
Yeah. That sounds like the same thing they have over at Grand Floridian. They usually have a piano playing person.
They're called a pianist.
I'm gonna refer to them as a piano
playing person. Okay.
A PPP.
Okay.
But obviously at Disney, not everything is free all the time. There's a bunch of other activities that cost money, but not everything is free. When I get excited, I wave my arms.
I know, I noticed. It's awesome.
So, are there any extra feed activities over at Disneyland?
Well, there are the tours that you can take inside the theme parks. They have several different tour options that are not so much behind the scenes here as they do in Florida, but they definitely have like the history of the park and such, and it's those guided tours, and they're really good. They used to have one called, I think it's called the Walk in Walt's Footsteps, and I can't remember. I know they updated the tour recently. I can't remember if they changed the name of it or not. I don't think they did actually, but they're really good tours. They drastically range in price. Some are like $50, some go up into the hundreds. So, they're pretty cool. I've done several of them. They used to have the Segway tours, which they got rid of.
Ooh, they had those at Epcot for a while.
Yeah, they used to have Segway tours at Epcot, and they had Segway tours at Disney California Adventure before the big renovation. And I think they ran into some insurance issues or whatever, and they got rid of the Segway tours altogether. But the tours are awesome. I don't know how many of them you've done, but I do want to mention at Walt Disney World, they have a tour called Backstage Magic. Now, some of the tours, as I mentioned, you do need park admission to get into. So today we're talking specifically about stuff you don't need park admission for. And according to the Walt Disney World website, and I believe this is true, it says Backstage Magic is a 7-hour behind-the-scenes tour. Have you ever done this, Patrick?
I have not.
It's really good.
Because I'm sure it's real expensive.
It's $249.
Okay.
So it's kind of one of those things that, it's 7 hours, so it's a pretty full day, and you do it in lieu of a theme park that day. And you do visit all 4 theme parks. Now, I was reading the current description of the tour, and actually, I think I've done like most of the backstage tours at Walt Disney World, and it kind of sounded like they might have mixed some things from some of the other tours into this, because one of the things that they mention is at Epcot, they go to the American Adventure. And I remember doing this, but it was with an Epcot tour that I did it with. But if you don't know American Adventure, it's a spectacularly produced production of audio animatronics, kind of giving the history of America. But the way that they do it, these audio animatronic figures are, first of all, incredible. But there's this whole like system underneath the stage of these little platforms that get moved around, and kind of like Tetris boxes just fit in these little squares, and then they rise up on stage when it's their cue. And they take us underneath the stage for this tour, and you get to see like the process of this. And I mean, as a live theater junkie like myself, I actually think that American Adventure is one of the most well-produced shows there is, even though there's no live actors in it. And so to go under that stage was kind of awesome. Like, really, really incredibly awesome. But in addition to that, for Magic Kingdom, you go in the utilidors underneath the park. At the Hollywood Studios, they take you to costuming. And Animal Kingdom, it mentioned like a backstage look at the Mickey's Jammin' Jungle Parade. Is that the right name?
Yes.
Yeah.
However,
that's not around anymore. So no. I don't know what they're doing in Animal Kingdom. But that it is something really fun to do if you don't mind spending the money and you do not need park admission. Because most of the tours, it said, park admission required. Because, if you're doing a full day Epcot tour and it's only like 3 hours long, they're just going to drop you in the park afterward. Whereas this one's 7 hours and you're outside of the park by the end. So if you want to go back in, you do need admission. But it's fun times.
Yeah, there's a lot of different tours you can take. I know there's one specifically that's just Magic Kingdom, like just the Utilidor and stuff like that. But
so that one you needed park admission
probably need
for.
Park admission to do.
I was a little surprised. I was looking at Dolphins in Depth over at Epcot, which would be in the dolphin tanks. You swim with the dolphins and learn about them and stuff.
In the Nemo Seas with Nemo and Friends area.
Yeah, and it's 3 hours long. It's $199. And once again, it did not mention requiring park admission. So that one surprised me a little bit. I don't know if that was a mistake on their website or not, but it did surprise me. Yeah.
Well, speaking of seas, I did something recently that I guess I normally wouldn't have done, but I had nothing else to do. I went over to the marina behind Contemporary and Bay Lake Towers to Bay Lake. And there's actually a section where you can rent like jet skis and sea racers and these party boats almost that has like 10 people on it and stuff. But me and my friend rented a sea racer out there, and Bay Lake connects through a channel to Seven Seas Lagoon, and you can go rent a sea racer for it's not that much.
I think it was like $50 or something when I did it.
No, not even. It's about $30 for every half hour.
Okay.
So it's about $1 a minute, kind of. And even if you're an annual pass holder, you get a 30% discount, which is pretty huge for Disney. But it's very interesting going on the Seven Seas Lagoon and like kind of racing around the ferry and getting.
I actually got reprimanded when I did it.
Really?
Yeah, I drove into the parasailing area, and they're like, "You need to get out of here." Yeah, I know. I was like, "I'm sorry." But,
yeah, there's a specific area for like parasailing and water skiing and wakeboarding that you're not supposed to go with sea racers into there.
But it's not exactly clearly labeled. It's not like it's roped
Yeah,
up.
they just have buoys.
They kind of point it
there.
out to you on the map, but I'm like, I do not navigate the sea well, so I was just like riding around.
I spent most of the time in Seven Seas just because when he out on the Seven Seas Lagoon, just chilling.
I know it's pretty fun. I did that back in 2011 when I was visiting, and it was one of those things. You know, having gone to the park so much, I actually had one of those trips where I was like, you know, there's so much to do here outside of the theme parks. I should really look into some of it, and that was definitely one of the things I wanted to do.
Yeah,
so.
and they have almost the same thing out in the boardwalk lake as well.
Cool.
So
we have this thing out here called the I-5 freeway that you can drive your car on to get to Disneyland. That's almost as exciting as jet skiing around the Seven Seas Lagoon.
That does sound real exciting. And speaking of driving, there's also a fun driving experience.
NASCAR.
That is in the MK parking lot. You probably drove by it if you've ever gone into them.
Yeah, I find that to be such a strange location.
Yeah, but it is the Richard Petty driving experience where you can take some laps in a NASCAR or an exotic car, or they even have like junior cars now that you can do. So
yeah, my dad did it. I think he was a passenger.
Yeah, you don't yourself get to. I don't think in the NASCAR one you yourself don't get to drive it. However, they do have like an exotic car experience where you can like drive a Lambo or whatever.
Personally, I have no interest in doing that. That would scare me to death. I'm like, test track is plenty fine. I like the fact that it's on a track, and if it breaks, it's not moving anywhere. We're not going to crash on test track.
Well, if you're into cars, that's something you can check out.
One of the things we didn't mention when we were talking about the Downtown Disney is Disney Quest. Disney Quest is a kind of an indoor theme park or I don't know, virtual reality. It's like a big giant video arcade, essentially. But Disney Quest at Walt Disney World, Downtown Disney, is kind of fun and cool, and I don't even think it's all that super expensive, is it?
It's definitely, I'd say, I'm gonna say 50-ish.
Oh, really? Wow,
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that. You know, when I went, I used the fun points that we had on our card, so maybe I was just unaware of how pricey it was.
Don't quote me on anything.
But once you get inside,
I've
you
never
don't.
paid for it.
Yeah, once you get inside, you don't pay for the arcades. It's like you're basically paying admission to go roam around in there for as long as you want. So if you're really like a video game junkie, it's something to check out.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. There's like a virtual reality section, and it's a huge area. It's about I want to say 5 floors of games and virtual reality games, and
of course a lot of them have Disney themes. Like they have the Jungle Cruise riverboat thing where like you have to paddle.
Raft.
Yeah, basically, if you frequent Disneyland, it's like going on the canoes around Pirate's Lair on Tom Sawyer's Island.
But it's a video screen.
Yeah, it's actually like I remember getting tired doing.
Oh yeah, those rides hurt after a while. I know they have like a magic carpet.
The Aladdin
ride with the screen and. One of those build your own roller coaster type things.
That was probably the coolest thing. And the thing I was excited to try out the most was the build your own roller coaster. So basically what this is, you step up to a computer screen and you lay down the track in the computer that you want to do. Then you go inside a cylinder, essentially, that gets closed on you. So I can sometimes get claustrophobic, but it didn't bother me that much. But I was like, hey, we're going to test this real quickly and shut the door on me. And if I freak out, let me out. But I was pretty cool. But here's what I do not... because so once you're in there, the tube starts spinning and moving based on how you design the track. And if you have loops, that means you're spinning all the way upside down. And you think to yourself, oh, it's not that bad. I've done roller coasters before, so it's going to be the same type of sensation. Note to everybody listening, it is not the same sensation. Have you done this, Patrick?
I have.
Okay. It's weird because normally, like, you'd have, I don't know, through science or whatever, some cylindrical force or whatever, you'd just have, like, that air pushing toward you, so it would, like, hold your body in place better. Whereas this is more like, if you're doing a loop, you're literally just being, like, turned upside down. Not exactly comfortable. And on top of that, I made the huge mistake of having just eaten a huge meal at Planet Hollywood before going on this. Patrick, terrible idea.
And you're probably like, oh, well, I'm just going to throw 5 loops into it because it's fun.
Yeah, I definitely walked off saying, well, I don't ever need to do that again. I've experienced it. I'm good. I'll take the real roller coaster any day. So.
Yeah. I have fun at Disney Quest, especially a lot of the old arcade games are always fun to play. They do have a classic Tron, and they have the Wreck-It Ralph game if you want to get into that too.
I'm gonna wreck it!
Yeah.
Also,
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna mention before we finish up, if you're a golf fan, there's tons of golf activities at Walt Disney World.
Oh yeah.
Especially, well, for me, I don't like golf, but there's always mini golf.
Yeah, you have the regular golf course, which is shades of green, and then you have 2 mini golf areas, one being Fantasia Gardens, and the other one, let me blank on the name for a second.
I can tell you.
Okay, tell me.
Fairways Mini Golf? Is that it? Or is that Fantasia Gardens and Fairways Mini Golf?
I
is
think
that all
that's
one
what
name?
it is. It's Fantasia Gardens, and then the other one is in the Blizzard Beach Park.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. I don't know the name of it, but I know what you're talking.
It's like a winter-summer theme.
It's soon going to be called Olaf's Mini Golf, I'm sure.
I wouldn't doubt it. But those are sometimes things. Wait, let me go back to Boardwalk real quick.
Please
because
do.
I just also did one other thing that's funny. Besides like all the water rentals, you can also... Boardwalk is just a huge circle. So you can also rent... They have tandem bikes, which you can get a 2-person or for a 4-person.
I've done that.
I recently did with 3 of my friends. We got a 4-person one. And it was a lot of fun, but also a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like, there's 2 hills in the Boardwalk Circle that, if you don't get a pedal start, it is like fire in your legs if you don't get up that hill on those bikes.
Yeah, I did it with 3 of my family members, and it was a long time ago. We were probably all in better shape back then. But yeah, here's what I'm going to say. When it comes to manual labor on vacation, think twice. If you're somebody that enjoys that, if you're one of those people that like go to the gym and it's actually a turn on for you, as opposed to me who will go work out and be like, I'm doing this because I have to. Just think twice is all I'm going to say. Those canoes at Disneyland aren't fun. and
I had fun with the tandem bikes. Obviously, we did it at like 9 at night, so it was like cool out-ish.
Yeah.
But, those are fun.
Yeah, couldn't be cool.
And another thing I recently found interesting is if you've ever wanted to learn to surf, they actually have surfing classes at Typhoon Lagoon.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. Before the park opens? Or is it?
Before the park opens, you can... reserve some surfing classes at Typhoon Lagoon.
Have you done that?
I have not, but it sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, did you know that you can learn archery at Fort Wilderness?
What?
Yeah. You
mean I can be just like my favorite
Merida.
Princess Merida?
Yeah, you can be your own Merida. Wah, wah. I'm telling you, Merida. But yes, they have Fort Wilderness Archery. It's $39 for 90 minutes, and you have to be 7 and older. So, Patrick, you're older than 7.
Yes.
Score.
I couldn't
So as you can see here, there is tons of stuff to do at Walt Disney World.
Yeah, there's not just the parks. There's a plethora of other activities you can choose from. Obviously, not all of them are free. Some of them are extra costs, but if you ever just want to get away from the park, tourists, everything, Get a boat. Go run. Go get a bike.
Basically, they would be thrilled if you didn't go to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter and instead hung out at their resort for your entire week. That's basically...
You can just go to a competitor's park.
You can get what? Oh, yeah, or go to a competitor's park, yeah. There's that option as well. But, no, so I personally am a huge fan of the Backstage tours. I'm actually sad because I've run out of Backstage tours to do, because I've done them all. So maybe I'll go back and start doing them again. It sounds like they've definitely changed them out a bit. So they're a lot of fun. Sounds like your favorites might be the water activities.
I did have so much fun on the boat. Not even gonna lie.
Well, it's cool because when you're in that Seven Seas Lagoon and that you're in a tiny boat, that little 2-seater, and you have that giant ship going by or whatever it is, going by to get to and from the Magic Kingdom and the Magic Kingdom parking lot. It's like, it's a little scary. Don't get in their way. It's all.
Oh no, there's a bunch of you have boats coming from almost every hotel. There's Wilderness Lodge, Floridian, DePaoli.
The Polynesian. Very cool. Before we move on to trivia, is there anything else you wanted to mention?
I think there's probably more, but none that I've
there's
done.
Tons more. Go to the websites and check out their activities. I'm sure there's something you would like to do. You know what I wonder? They may have this, but I've never seen anything about this. I wonder if they have like cooking classes other than cookie decorating. Because that would be something totally worth them doing if they don't have that already.
I want to say yes, but not as a outside park activity.
Maybe as like an Adventures by Disney type thing? Or
no, I'd say like during like Epcot Food and Wine, there's definitely cooking classes.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. But I feel like some of the resort hotels could have some really interesting cooking classes or whatever.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, that'd be awesome.
If they don't, they should.
Oh, one just popped in my head right now. Obviously, Animal Kingdom Lodge, they do safaris out there as well. Like nighttime safaris.
In the park or in...
No, Animal Kingdom Lodge Hotel.
Oh.
Cool. They have animals.
Yeah, out there. Balconies there.
They
cool.
give you, what are those? Night goggles. And
oh, cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
And then they give you a blow dart.
And then you have to keep the animal.
And then you have a souvenir. Yay.
Good deal.
That's terrible. Anywho, let's jump over to trivia now. Do you want me to hit you first?
Go ahead.
Okay. We were talking earlier about Disney Quest at Planet Hollywood at Walt. At Downtown Disney.
Soon to be Disney Springs.
Soon to be Disney Springs, yes. But Disney Quest had a much bigger purpose when it was originally conceived. It was meant to be, and the one in Florida was the first one built, but it was basically them trying to build Disney theme parks around the country. So, obviously they weren't going to build a giant theme park, but they were going to try and build this interactive theme park that they could put in a bunch of different cities. And I was wondering if you happen to know where the other ones were and/or were supposed to be. There was a second one, for sure. Do you know what city it was?
Is it in the U.S.?
Mm-hmm. These are all U.S. Well, most.
I have no idea.
They built the Disney Quest in Chicago, and it failed very badly. So, unfortunately, it actually pulled the plug on the entire project. They closed the Chicago one. They had one where they had actually started construction in Philadelphia, and they just brought it to a halt and stopped. They never even finished it. And then they actually had the planning stages for Disneyland. Never happened. And also downtown Toronto, which they just canceled before it even got started. So they had big plans for Disney Quest. It just never took off the way that they had envisioned or hoped. And
interesting.
So yeah, but Chicago had one for a while. I don't know exactly what the length of time was, but it was a while, but no more. Yeah. Do you know what the unofficial mascot of Disney Quest is?
A T-Rex?
Nope, it's the genie from Aladdin.
Ah, that's true, yeah. There's a big statue of him in the...
What do you mean that's true? I wasn't making this stuff up.
I'm just saying, and now I realized that, because they have a statue of him.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, hit me with some trivia.
Let's see if you remember this.
Wait a sec, tell me the cities I said again.
Chicago, Philadelphia. Toronto.
And Disneyland.
Oh, Disneyland, yeah.
Okay, you were listening.
Haha.
Ah, ha, ha.
All right, let's see if you were listening.
Let's see.
Earlier.
That doesn't make sense. You didn't give me an answer yet, so I couldn't have been listening.
Okay, now tell me the answer.
Okay.
Earlier in this episode, I mentioned the name of the race car place in Magic Kingdom.
Oh, it was after some NASCAR person who, Peter something or other? Peter Billingsley.
The Richard Petty driving experience.
Richard Petty. I'm so outside of the NASCAR world that when you say the name Richard Petty, I can't even visualize
I have
him.
no idea who he is either.
For some reason, I picture a white man with a mustache. I don't know why. That's what I'm seeing.
I'm going to say that's correct.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you.
The Richard Petty, what?
Driving experience.
Man, he must get a lot of money to use his name. I just kind of assumed it was the NASCAR driving experience. Or maybe Richard Petty's just the guy that owns it, and he's actually not a NASCAR driver. Wouldn't that be funny? Because the water sports have a funny name to them, too. It's like somebody's name.
Sammy Duvall.
Yeah, so maybe he's just the Sammy Duvall of car racing. Anywho, I think that's going to do it for us this week on Disney Coast to Coast. Folks, thanks for listening. Patrick, I'm going to go, do some activities outside of the parks.
Yeah, I'm going to go rent a boat.
And sounds good. And I'll see you there. Peace out.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Disney Coast to Coast. Have a magical day.